On my YouTube channel, I thoroughly discuss South Carolina and the life of the Slavic community in the USA. Here, there are reports on the environment, city and region reviews, and interviews with local residents. I am also an accredited journalist with the U.S. Press Association. Friends, in this video there is an interview with Tatyana Samoylova, who is a refugee from Ukraine in the USA due to the war. She will share her compelling, tragic story. And you, friends, can help her by sharing and spreading this video to create public resonance. Why did you move here and what is your journey?
The war started. Indeed, we thought it would end very quickly. Well, we waited and waited until it became unbearable. We moved here on March 13th, 2023.
And you were planning to move with your family. What is your family like? A sick child, you say?
Yes, I have 2 children. The youngest is 2.4 years old and the oldest is 30 years old. He is disabled. I have a disabled son who needs care 24/7, and my mother, 78 years old. Are you all together? Yes. And with your husband? My husband stayed because we essentially weren't planning to emigrate here. In fact, we just intended to stay for a while.
To wait out war?
To simply wait out the war. Yes, and to return back.
The husband stay in Odessa?
Yes, the husband stayed in Odessa. When we left, everything was absolutely fine with him. But this year, after the new year, I started noticing some oddities.
Aha, so the oddities. He was in Odessa, and you were already communicating by phone here.
Yes, we communicated by phone and via Viber.
What oddities did you start to notice?
Well, he forgets mid-sentence, repeats the same thing 20 times. The same thing, forgot where he put something. Well, he rearranges everything in the house. Somehow it's not how he used to behave. That is, when we left, there was nothing like this. My sister's husband made the documents. Ain, 134. The humanitarian corridor was approved. He was allowed entry from May 31st to September 1st. The first 1:30 on September 1st.
During the month of June, he was officially diagnosed with Alzheimer's disease, which is a progressive condition that gradually impairs memory and cognitive abilities.
Naturally, our goal was to get him here as quickly as possible. Oh, is that in June of this year? It was just recently, yes.
And we bought yes tickets from Bucharest to London to Charlotte. We acquired tickets for the event and ordered a service called accompaniment. And we ordered this additional service, a special assistance service for assistance with a wheelchair and cognitive support. So cognitive support implies that the person needs additional support and assistance. When my friend brought him to the beautiful city of Bucharest, Romania, this service was provided without any issues or complications. But when he arrived in London, he was not literally provided with this service, and no one met him. He got off the plane and was confused. Plus, it's such a stressful situation. Plus London, a huge tricky airport where an adult, healthy person can't figure out where to go, especially without knowing the language. Naturally, he was left alone in this huge airport. He was very confused. Language barrier, stress from not knowing where to go, where the plane is, whom to ask. His condition began to deteriorate right before our eyes because we were trying to sort everything out over the phone. I don't know English, but my sister was trying over the phone to ask people to help us get to. This is the location where the airplane or aircraft is scheduled to board or embark. Yes, he was taken there, he was helped, but the flight attendant did not let him board the plane. My sister was trying to shout. She was shouting into the phone, "Pick up the receiver, let me explain to you." But unfortunately, it was indeed a complete disaster. He was simply not boarded onto the plane at all. Moi, he was just not given any assistance whatsoever. He was simply left at the airport. He was not taken anywhere. They did not call his relatives. They did not call the same wheelchair that did not provide him with this service. Later, This flight attendant, who was very experienced and dedicated to her job, wrote, "A certain Anna Carolina Laranjetro." She wrote a report on the reason for his non-boarding on the plane, stating that the client could not answer affirmatively to the security question and did not know where he was. He was left at the airport, and he was mumbling with a handwritten note.
Help.
Then it turns out what unexpectedly happens. The plane lands safely in Charlotte when it arrives without the registered passenger on board. The officer sees in the system that the passenger did not arrive, and his travel authorization was cancelled. He was found only the next day in the police station. Why in the police station? Because transit passengers must leave the airport by midnight. I called back to the Ukrainian embassy in London. They called me and at my request sent him to the hospital. Can you imagine he has been in the hospital since July 23rd and is still there? Please ensure to reapply with the form I-134. This is the fastest option to get him back as soon as possible. And on August 26th, confirmation of his entry permission was already granted. USCIS granted entry permission, but the SBP still does not grant permission.
In the U.S., two key agencies, USCIS and CBP, are responsible for managing immigration processes. USCIS is the United States Citizenship and Immigration Services, processing applications for visas, green cards, citizenship, and humanitarian parole. Yuri received all the necessary documents for the humanitarian parole from this agency. CBP is the Customs and Border Protection, which controls entry into the country, checks documents, issues Form I-94, and monitors compliance with visa conditions. Tatyana and Yuri are waiting for documents from this agency for entry into the country. Both agencies work together. USCIS processes the documents. The CBP checks and controls entry into the country.
And from this moment,
It just hangs neither a refusal nor...
yes, it just hangs. On the 26th, it will be exactly 3 months that this has been hanging. Moreover, we call every single week. We call CBP. We provide all the documents. When we call CBP, they say, "Your case has been prioritized for review. Please wait." The hospital can no longer wait. He is in London, in the hospital, in the dementia department. He is supposed to stay there for 28 days. He has already been there for almost that long.
Could you please further elaborate on what is the purpose of your interview? I strongly believe that there is indeed a way out of this situation. I am in a situation where I urgently require assistance. Please, if you can, come to my aid immediately. Your help is needed right now.
Perhaps someone will help with advice. They will suggest what to do next.
Where to turn? How can this monstrous situation be resolved? In this situation, I would like to sincerely express my gratitude to everyone who has helped and is helping me. To Ole Balyankova, a truly dedicated and wonderful psychologist in Spartanburg, who comes to my home, spends her time, and sometimes calls CBP for hours.
Our priest church.
To our dear Pastor Alex and all our beloved parishioners, who are faithfully and earnestly praying for our dear friend, Yuri.
To my dear neighbor Natasha Litvinets in Odessa, who did not leave kind-hearted Yuri in trouble, who helped, fed, and supportively assisted him in leaving. To my sister and my friend, who brought him and tried to put him on the plane. Rather, she got him on the plane and brought him to Bucharest. Thank you all very much. Thank you, Roma.
You are doing the right thing by sounding the alarm and fighting. And I hope and wish, and I am confident that he will be here, and we will film a report about how he arrives here, how you welcome him,